it's Shawnee. Welcome back. So today's video is a video showing you the Lovers palette from Cosmic Beauty. I just checked their website and it seems like they have a limited stock still available. Now this is a video in collaboration with my good girlfriend Jan Van, except Jan already uploaded hers and I didn't because I'm a nerd and didn't put the right date on my calendar or something, y'all. It's a lot going on. So I figured I would do the look. We're doing like a palette bingo where we pick 5 colors randomly generated from an app or something, and we do a look with the palette. Now, because I'm late to this experience, I'm gonna add a little bit more for you and for Janny Banani, and I'm going to do some swatches and tell you about the shades because there are some pressed pigments and then there are some eyeshadows. And yeah, so we're just gonna hop right in. I'll do the description and the swatches and then I'll go on to do a look. So here is the Lovers palette. This came out, I believe, about a month ago from Cosmic Beauty. Here's the front, very diverse hands, and there are 20 shades in this palette. Now, as far as I can recall of the Cosmic Beauty palettes that I have, this is the only one that opens like this. Not my favorite. I prefer the ones that just don't open like that. Or maybe it's the shape of it. Yeah, it's not my favorite. But again, who am I? It's not my brand. I can't tell them what to do. It's really pretty. Let me tell you what they say about the actual palette. It's called the Lovers palette, and it's inspired by the romantic style of Art Nouveau, combined with mystical practices of tarot. The color story comes with 20 colors, 12 of those being matte and 8 metallic shimmers, which also include 1 super shifty multichrome and 2 duochromes. So let's go ahead and start the swatches, and yeah. So here is the palette, and as I mentioned, there are 20 shades, and the way they are described on the website, they are described from top to bottom here, so in columns rather than in rows. So I will swatch in columns. I'll tell you the description of the shade, do the swatch of course, and then I will let you know if it is a pressed pigment or an eyeshadow. So this first shade here is Connection, and it is described as a super shifty multichrome that goes from pink to purple to green to gold, and it is a pressed pigment. The next shade is Attraction, and it is described as a muted mid-tone pink matte, and it is a pressed pigment. The next shade is Self-Love, and it is described as a muted, warm, peachy, mid-tone nude matte. This is also a pressed pigment. Now, I've mentioned pressed pigments, so let me take a moment to tell you a bit more about that. For pressed pigments, there are colors that are pigments in there, and a lot of times the pressed pigments can stain your eyelids. I know that happens for some people, and there is a law specific to the US that says that pressed pigments may not be suitable for use in the eye area. Now, a lot of our indie brands and things like that have pressed pigments, and so you're probably already using them, and you probably already know if you don't have a good reaction to them based on some of the pigment in there. I'm fine, but I also use a lot of pressed pigments. I would encourage you to look at the websites of brands just to determine if there is anything or anything in the ingredient list that might not work for you. So the next shade is Faithful, and this is described as a pale, shimmery gold metallic with a soft pink shift. and this is an eyeshadow. The next shade is Soulmate, and it is described as a warm nude brown matte. This is a pressed pigment. The next shade is Unconditional, and it is described as a light pastel pink matte. Oh, it's very smooth. This is also a pressed pigment. The next shade is Choices, and it's described as a plum metallic. It is a pressed pigment. The next shade here is Harmony, and it is described as a burgundy matte. And you guessed it, it's a pressed pigment. Affection is the next shade, and it is described as a light neutral nude. See how that shows up on me. It's actually pretty good. Affection is a pressed pigment. Companion is the last shade here, and it is described as a sparkly rose gold duochrome, and it is an eyeshadow. So, first two columns. And I'm going to swatch the last two here. So this shade here is Promise, and it is described as a cool green-based metallic with a warm golden green glow. And it is a pressed pigment. I hate that placement. Hold on, I'm gonna wipe that off. Okay, better. The next shade is Devoted, and it is described as a light muted mint green matte. It is an eyeshadow. Next shade is Mutual, and it is described as a sage green matte, but I see shimmer in there. It probably won't translate. I don't know if you can see, but to me there's a bit of shimmer there. I don't know if you can see it in the palette. Yeah, it has like green flecks. I'm sorry, or gold flecks. And I don't think it's like from a different shade or anything. I really do think I see what I see. And did I mention Mutual is a pressed pigment? Next shade is Truth, and it is described as a sparkly, rich teal blue metallic. Ooh, that's so pretty. And Truth is an eyeshadow. Commitment is a deep blue black matte. It is also an eyeshadow. Trust is a deep neutral green matte with a sky blue leaning base. It seems like a lot of the mattes have blue base in them. Communication is a sage green metallic. Trust is an eyeshadow, so this one here, and Communication is a pressed pigment. Partnership is this pretty shade here, and it is described as a muted teal blue matte. Partnership is an eyeshadow. Values is a powder blue matte. And Values is an eyeshadow. Lastly, Loyal is a neutral, light, silvery blue metallic. And it is an eyeshadow. Okay, so let's go over it again, just so I can point everything out to you. So in terms of the swatches, or you know what, let's do this first. So I'm going to point out all of the pressed pigments for you. Connection is a pressed pigment. Attraction, Self-Love, Soulmate, Unconditional, Choices, Harmony, Affection, Promise, Mutual, Communication. Those are all of the pressed pigments. So that is 11, and we have 20 shades, so that's pretty much a little bit more than just over half of the palette. So let me show them to you here if I can. So Connection, pressed pigment. Attraction, Self-Love, Soulmate, Unconditional, Choices, Harmony, Affection, Promise, Mutual, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, Communication. So, yeah. If you don't like pressed pigments, this might not be the palette for you, because there are 11 pressed pigments, so they pretty much overtake the palette. I want to say that they're some of the prettiest shades too. So let me wipe this off, and then I will go into the bingo and do a look, and then we shall wrap it up. Okay, so I have my random number generator, and I'm going to go ahead and pick 5 numbers to correspond with the shades, and then we'll keep it moving. So first is number 13. Number 6. Number 8. Number 11. And number 3. Okay, I have an idea. What if I did one look on each eye? Now, my thought is, because the website describes the shades going in columns, I'm going to pick numbers based on that. But also, since I think most of us are used to going in rows, I think I'll pick the numbers based on that as well. Okay, so I'm going to do that really quickly, and then we'll talk about what shade is what. This is so weird. Okay, so this is columns, and this is rows. So the shades are Devoted, Unconditional, Harmony, Promise, Self-Love. And then on the other side, we have Faithful, Choices, Communication, Mutual, and Promise. Alright, so no idea what I'm gonna do, but I'm going to use the shades. I think I will do the columns on this eye, the rows on this eye, and then maybe I'll throw in another look, because why not? Okay, so I'm just gonna throw in some music, and here we go. So here's the finished looks. I would never put any of these shades together. Oh, that was a challenge. Like, oftentimes with bingo, I'm like, I got this. It's gonna go here, this gonna go there. And this one, I'm like, just put them on your eye, girl. Since, like, mainly everything was a shimmer, I definitely just went in to tap things in very lightly and try to make them kind of seamlessly flow into each other, despite them being, like, on opposite ends of the color wheel. And I think they actually look similar, and I think that's because of that Promise shade that was in both of the bingos. This shade right here. So that shade, like, pops out a bit, I think. Yeah. I wasn't expecting these looks. I feel like these are very, like, spring. I'm ready for, like, the Easter bunny. I really wish that I had gotten some of the deeper shades. I thought I was gonna do another look, y'all, but this was already, like, traumatic enough trying to put these two together, so I'm gonna leave it alone. I will definitely use the palette again. I really do want to do a look that is, like, more, you know, like, using the deeper shades and doing something simple as well. Something without, like, 3-4 shimmers. Whew. Anyways, I hope that some of this was helpful, and I also hope that you are continuing to take care of yourself. As a matter of fact, let me know what you're doing to take care of yourself. Don't forget to go over to Jan's channel and watch her video and tell her I said, I'm sorry that this is so late. But I told her I would upload it before the end of the year, so I think we're good. Anyways, I would love it if you liked the video, and I would love it even more if you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.